Welcome, brilliant minds. Today's video lesson, classwork 7, about the West African kingdom of Songhai. Today we will determine if Songhai was more similar to or more different from Ghana and Mali by writing a paragraph with at least 2 similarities or 2 differences. So let's make sure that we have a reminder about our homework that is due on Friday. You should have this packet from Miss Casey, and you should already have written in your agenda that it is due on Friday with an arrow all the way over to where we see Friday and a quiz on Friday. If you haven't written that in yet, go ahead and write it in for Wednesday under social studies. And today's shout outs go to students that are excelling with 4s on their written work, like Zoch, like Byron, and like Yosbani. These students are not only earning 4s this week, but they've also been developing some really beautiful and original writing styles of their own. Congratulations, guys. So let's take a look at our work for the day. We want to make sure that we're thinking about Songhai and comparing it to Ghana and Mali, the kingdoms we've already learned about, to think about if it's more different or if it's more alike. And to do that, we want to start with our reading strategies. So you can go ahead and write our heading of reading strategies here. And we'll always start with our pre-reading strategy, thieves. And remember that we're starting with heading and visuals today. Those are the ones that we're going to be focusing on this week. And if we take a look at our reading on page 427, then we'll see the first heading is, how did Songhai begin? We're put in the middle of our circle map. So if we do page 427, and then we can skip a few lines and write, how did Songhai begin? And then we want to use our visuals to add some predictions into this circle map. So just like we've seen on page 426 for the last couple of days, we have this map. There's information about the different West African kingdoms. So we looked at Ghana, and then at Mali, and now we're going to look at Songhai. And some of the things we see in the map is that Songhai is represented by this striped area that we see here. So it's a little bit different, though it seems to be a similar area. It's still covering, well, it looks like it's larger than the other areas. So I'm going to write that down on my scroll map. It seems like it's larger than Ghana or Mali. That's one seeming like a difference. It seems like it also is close to these trade routes, and specifically that they are in Timbuktu. So let's see if I can write down trade routes Timbuktu. And I want you guys to go ahead, and we did 3 together, and I want you to go ahead and add at least 2, maybe even 3 on your own. So you can go back to the map and think about, what else do you see here about Songhai that's important? So what else do you see in this area? What other cities do you see? What other resources is it close to? What else makes it similar or different to Ghana and Mali? In order to complete your thieves on your own. You can pause the video here, you can, and when you're ready, you can move on to setting up your work for our catch. We're focusing on those text connections. And we want to think about how it connects to us, how it connects to other texts, and how it connects to the world. Okay? So as we read, we're also going to be thinking about this objective about similarities and differences. And when we do similarities and differences, there is a thinking map we usually use to compare and contrast. And that is our double bubble. So I'm going to put Ghana and Mali on this side, and I'm going to put Songhai on this side, and I'm going to put space to write at least 3 similarities in the middle, and I'm going to make myself some space to write at least 3 differences on the outside. Okay, so you're gonna set that self up so you are ready to write as you read. And if you need to pause the video, you can. When you are ready, we're going to continue with reading How Did Songhai Begin? Make sure you follow along with me in your textbook on page 427. Mali weakened after the death of King Mansa Musa. This is who you read about for your do now in 1337. Well, this reminds me of something that happened in my life. I've recently had 2 people I care about die, and that definitely weakened me. So I want to think about how this connects to myself, right? This makes me think about how I was weakened by death of my grandmother and best friend's dad. Now, you don't want to write about this because this is about my life. You want to write about what happened in your own life. So what's a time when you were weakened by someone's death or by losing a friendship, maybe even someone you broke up with? But what's some time when you were weakened by losing someone in your life? When you are ready, you can go ahead and pause the video to write this, and then when you're ready, you can continue on with reading the text with me. One of the states that eventually broke away from Mali's control was Songhai. In 1464, Sunni Ali became the ruler of Songhai. This word Ali reminds me of one of the Muslim names we learned about, who was one of the leaders of Islam after Muhammad died. So I think this connects to what we learned about Muslims. I wonder if Sunni Ali might be a Muslim. I'm going to say text Sunni Ali. Circle that. I'm going to say maybe Muslim. And this one you can copy down with me. Okay? When you're ready, we can go back to the text. He seized control of Timbuktu. Sunni Ali used Songhai's location along the Niger River to extend his territory. This is interesting. Well, like we noticed in the map, Timbuktu was a city that was not only in Songhai, but it was also in this area, the yellow area, that was Mali. So that's one thing that they have in common, is that Songhai and Mali were both able to control the city of Timbuktu. So I'm going to put that in the middle. I'm going to say controlled city of Timbuktu. That's an important similarity. But I also notice a difference because I haven't read anywhere about Mali or Ghana using the Niger River, but Songhai is allowed to use the Niger River. In fact, if we come back to this map, we can see the Niger River is right here, and it goes into an area that Ghana and Mali didn't touch. So that's a really important difference. They're using the river to help them trade, not just the trade routes, not just trading across Sahara by camel, but now they're actually using the water travel by boat. So we can come back here and say that's a difference. One thing they're using is they're using Niger River to trade, in addition to the trade routes that all of the kingdoms use. They're using an additional way to trade. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn from page 427 to page 428, where we're going to finish this text about Songhai. It says here, he took control of the river and then seized the salt mines. I want you to think about what can you add here to your double bubble. Do you see a similarity or do you see a difference? Pause the video now and see if you can add either a similarity or a difference. When you're ready, you're going to come back here and you're going to think about how you could add at least 2 more similarities and differences by completing these next 2 paragraphs. Okay? You also need to look out on something that connects to your world. So if you can think about what's one similarity that Songhai has with the United States, what are some of the things it did, or what kind of trade the United States has that Songhai is similar about. But you want to make sure you're making your world connection and you're also finishing in at least 2 more similarities, one more similarity and at least 2 more differences. Okay, when you're done with that, you can then unpause the video and come back to your proving behavior. Your proving behavior is write a paragraph. So you need to make sure that in this paragraph, you are using the notes you took on your double bubble to answer the question, was Songhai more similar to or more different from Ghana and Mali, okay? And you would have either two similarities or two differences. Okay? I would definitely make sure that you are flipping back that double bubble to help you. And you can decide whether you think there are more similarities to write about or more differences. Once you decide that, use that side to then help you write, and either write about your differences or write about your similarities for this proving behavior. When you have finished a complete paragraph with at least two similarities or two differences, go ahead and keep these notes open for me to check, and just raise your hand silently so I can come around and give you credit for the great work you did today. I hope you're very proud of your work.